Well, welcome, Bronwen. So lovely to see you again. And let's talk your book on Keep It Super Simple, and welcome you, of course, to our experts portal for the leadership review. We've got a lovely article from you in this month's magazine coming out. So, Bronwen, let's tell everyone what was the trigger for you writing Keep It Super Simple and what life changes you went through to lead us to where you are now.
Hi, Sarah. Great to be here with you today. So for me, I spent almost 2 decades in the corporate world, and I pushed myself so hard for so long that I broke spectacularly. And I went from being an award-winning executive to on the floor and unable to cope in everyday life. And that happened in less than 60 seconds.
Yes.
And as I got into my recovery process and I was working with counselors and trying to unravel, who I was and how I'd gotten to where I'd gotten to and what were the impacts in my life and what were the things that were causing me stress and literally picking up the shattered pieces of myself and trying to examine them and put myself back together. I uncovered a massive fear that I had of writing anything personal down. And of course, when you're in that counseling situation and you uncover a fear like that, it becomes your homework. So here I was, completely broken, couldn't stop crying, literally unable to cognitively piece together what was happening in my life. And suddenly I've got this massive fear in front of me. And I've gone home and it took me 3 weeks to write one word on a page.
Oh, wow.
That's how afraid I was of writing anything personal down. And the basis of that was that if I wrote anything personal down, then people could use that as evidence against me that I wasn't perfect. So I'd created this really complex situation for myself where, I literally was completely blocking and squashing my creativity because it was the one thing that people could use as a weapon against me. And it's amazing how we really create these constructs in our lives that hold us back. And as I started journaling, I started unraveling all of these things, and I started being able to get out and consciously connect with things that had really gone together to push me forward as hard as I had been pushing. And from that, Keep It Super Simple was born. And I was about halfway through my recovery process, and Keep It Super Simple went out into the world. It's literally me on a page. It's my story.
Yes.
And it covers off all of these things that everybody in the world really is dealing with now. It's like the busyness of the world and coping with change. What are our comfort zones doing to us? How do we get stuck in the spirals that we get stuck in life? But also, where are the tools and resources that we have readily at hand that can really shift our lives really quickly and easily? So that's how Keep It Super Simple came about. And it has really driven and fueled my journey from that point forwards.
Fantastic. Like, I've read the book, and as we've discussed, I call it delightful, and that it's a very serious topic that you're discussing and addressing, and a really painful point of your life that you're going through. But the way that you address it, and the fun with the cartoons, but for me, having also gone through a cancer journey, like thousands of people have, it really made me reconnect with how far I'd grown and the lessons that I'd learned. And I felt it a powerful tool as a workbook for people that are wanting, it's not necessarily that you have to have been experiencing cancer. It's about all of those things you address, like you talk about growth and learning to adapt to change and accepting yourself for who you are right now. It's beautiful, Bronwen. I love it.
Thank you.
And so I know now you have a whole business around how you help people and work with them, and that's SheIQ Life. So tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Yeah, so Chic Life came about because when Keep It Super Simple went out into the world, I suddenly had all of these people saying to me, how else can I work with you? I love this so much. It's like you wrote this book for me. Like you've just said, I got so much out of this. I didn't face things the same way that you did, but for me it was like this, and I really loved this page and this chapter because it really gave me this revelation about my life. And I think that's what is really important to me in my work, is that everything that I create is created so that people can actually stop and have a look at what is happening for them. And as people came to me and said, can we have a keynote? Can you do a workshop? Can you facilitate for us? Can you work with our leaders so that our leaders can teach our people to do things in a different way? How can we apply this to our organizational health and wellness strategy? And suddenly I had this global business, and I'm still in the middle of a recovery from a breakdown myself. And so it became about, how can I really apply this stuff to my life so that I can build a structure that supports me in working across different time zones in different countries, working one-on-one, working in groups, working with leaders, working with individuals at wherever they're at. And so Chic Life now is all about just really showing people there's a different way that they can live really easily, and that we really need to step back and get to the individual level of what's going on. But we need to be able to do that in a way that can be delivered one-on-one versus, to 10 people or 500 people or 1,000 people in an audience, but still have it so that the individual can really take away what they need to, so that we can actually, really make a difference in people's lives, as opposed to just delivering things in a bland way that really doesn't touch the surface. We need to move forwards. We need to work in a different way so that people can actually really transcend what's going on in their lives.
Fabulous. I love that. And with the work that you do and the book, of course, what's one core message or thought that you want people to take away?
Yeah, look, I think I get asked a lot, what's the one thing? If there's only one thing you could have learned from your journey, what is that one thing? And it's really hard because there's so many things that you learn along the way. But if I was to distill it down into one thing, it would be this. My life now is so cool. It is so fun. It's made up of so many things that I love doing. I really just allow my creativity to flow, where before I shut that down because we're taught that, that doesn't make money. It's not worthwhile. It's not all these things. So when I actually embraced who I was and allowed the truth of that to flow, what I found was I get this cool life. I have these amazing opportunities. I guess what I didn't know before was that all of that was readily available, affordably, and easily accessible. It's just that I was so busy trying to be the person I thought I was supposed to be, that I'd been told that I had to tick these boxes, follow this path, do these things. And I did all of that, and I was highly successful, but, ended up on the floor broken. So you don't have to throw everything out to be able to actually start again. You don't have to start again. It's just about taking one step forwards in a different direction, and you'll end up in a completely different place.
Beautiful. Yes. Keep it super simple. So, Bronwen, what we're going to do now is what I call speed dating with authors. And we're going to I'm going to run through some questions with you, and let's learn more about you and who you are as an individual. So what lesson would you tell your younger self?
I would say you are absolutely different, and don't fight that.
Beautiful. And if you could sit down with any leader in the world, past or present, who would that be?
Yeah, look, I'm a rebel, so I'm actually going to change the question, and I'm going to say that I would go into the future. And I would speak to the universe, and I would say, I want to know what the big plan is. I want to know where we're going with this, and I want to know how I can actually help people to actually transcend through that and work in a different way.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, that's a very big picture. I love it. So what is just one value that guides your life, or as a number of values that guide your life?
Yeah, values, I think, is something that we're not taught, and that we need to really start to understand better, so that we can better align our lives with who we truly are. And if I had to pick one, I would say view everything through a filter of love. We're so quick to judge and criticize as a way of comparing where we're at in the world, whereas if we just used love, if we viewed everything through love, we could actually just see that we're perfect as we are, and everyone else is perfect as they are, and actually we're all okay.
Yeah, That's beautiful. And so what legacy then would you like to leave?
My legacy, I think I want people to reconnect with themselves. I want to teach people that the more that they can consciously connect with the decisions that they're making, the choices that they're making in life, and the more that they can actually align that with who they truly are and what's important to them, then actually the entire world moves in a different way. And collectively, we're all so much better off.
Yes, definitely. And did you have a hero growing up that you wanted to be? And who was it?
That I wanted to be. Not necessarily that I wanted to be, but my hero was always my dad and my animals. So just the love that you get that in those situations. So it's not that I necessarily wanted to be them, but I just loved being in their company.
Yeah, it's true. Unconditional love is an amazing thing. And so would you like to leave us with a quote that you find resonates with you?
One of my favorite quotes is and I think it's in Keep It Super Simple. Go out into the world, and every day the world will challenge you, and it will say, you have to do this, you have to do that, you must be this, you must be that. And it's up to you to put your hand on your heart and say, no, this is what matters. This is where my direction is.
Beautiful. And so on topic with the book, and of course you yourself and the message that you share with everybody. So thank you so much, Bronwen, for today. It's been lovely connecting with you. And I hope that our audience has learned a lot more about what you do, and will learn more over the coming months as we continue to connect.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. It's so great to be part of this network.
Thank you.